I would do like Spanish 3 honors, and she's like, no, I'm not gonna argue.
What did she say? Is it English?
Oh my god.
Their YouTubers are shooting each other. One of the YouTubers they did another YouTuber and so he had full custody of his son again.
I'm going to take over your
Did you get it?
Yeah.
I have 3
See somebody back there.
I always read the latest sentence.
This is your stuff. We're talking about like Jake. This is your stuff.
Screw him. His YouTube.
Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to listen to attendance, but you got announcements, but you have to make sure that I can play.
G-World Dance Marathon. You will still have your meeting after school. And remember, Dance Marathon shirts available in the attendance office. Rehearsals for Charlotte's Web will begin today at 2:15 in the practice room. The Fellowship of Christian Athletes will start meeting on Friday morning, starting in October. The meetings will be in Mr. McTaggart's room on the second floor from 8:15 until 8:45. The Garden Club will be meeting at 8:15 tomorrow in room 1402. Come to start planning for how to use the harvest to short out beds because winter is coming. That's the Garden Club, 8:15 tomorrow. Okay, don't forget, Little Hawks, buy your ticket for the homecoming dance. They are on sale after school and then at lunch tomorrow. Tickets are $5 if you get them here at school. They'll be $10 if you get them at the door Saturday night. So get them ahead of time. The theme this year is Under the Sea, and remember that if you're bringing someone from another school, you do need to have that permission slip taken care of. They're available in the office. There you go. Attention, remember Spain trip for you Spanish 4 and AP Spanish students. You can still apply through the end of the day tomorrow for the Ashland Scholarship to help you with the Spain trip. See Ms. Evans or Mr. Garrett on the 3rd floor if interested. There will be a winter clothing distribution drive put on by the Dream Center in the days to come, and they will have a collection box in the main office.
Hey guys, I'll say it again.
Newer
You don't have to
winter
listen.
clothing items to help the Dream Center's winter clothing drive. Don't forget, you can nominate one of your teachers or staff members or coaches for a City High Staff Excellence Award. All you have to do is send me an email telling why your special staff member is deserving of this great award. And I hope that you will consider taking a few minutes and nominating one of your special teachers to receive this great new City High Award. Remember to pick up your school pictures in the main office if you've not done so yet. The theme day for homecoming tomorrow, homecoming week, is Extreme Red and White. Yesterday's winners, Miralee Santiago, student winner, Miss Bernard, the staff winner. PSAT registration available now in the guidance office. Deadline is October 5th. Please sign up in guidance if interested in PSAT. Talk to your counselors, sophomores and juniors with questions. Anime Club is beginning tomorrow. They're in room 1316. Also, Kalamazoo College, University of Chicago representatives visiting guidance tomorrow. You can visit them in the guidance office. A few now weather-related sports informational items for you. Listen carefully if you have after-school athletics. Boys and girls cross-country, you will not be attending the cross-country meet. You will have practice on campus after school at a reduced level. Freshman volleyball, normal practice 5 o'clock. Sophomore volleyball, practice right after school. Varsity volleyball, practice right after school. JV golf meet at home. The meet is on as scheduled. Varsity and JV golf, practice at the normal time. Freshman football, your game is still on as scheduled. Sophomore and varsity football, practice at normal time, no pads or helmets. team dinner at normal time, girls swimming practice at normal time, girls cross country meet in the foyer at 2:15. There is no construction crew meeting for Charlotte's Web today. That's canceled. No construction crew, Charlotte's Web. That's it, everybody. Have a great rest of your day here at the School of Leaves.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce Michael. He is from the university and observing today. But right now, because of our shortened time together, we're just gonna plow through this next chunk of Angels in the Snow. So could you pull that out, please, if you're following along? If you're not following along, just tuck everything else away. Yeah, pull. Sure, I'm gonna be reading it out loud either way. We're starting on page 6.
Page 60.
And you can come on in, you can get set up over on the counter, would you find? And then you're looking for that quiz in the assignments section. In the assignment section of Canvas. All right, so Haley comes up to take a shower, but she says she can't take a shower until she knows something about Shy. So they sit down on the couch and they're starting to chat. Okay, I'll start. Haley paused for a few seconds looking around and then said, long distance relationships are all about patience. And my boyfriend Justin is probably the most patient man alive. How so? I took the bait, even though I knew what she was doing. This was Haley's way of establishing that she was in a relationship, which she believed would lessen the risk of me trying to sneak into the shower with her while she was busy rinsing out her owl food. Like I said yesterday, Haley answered, I was supposed to book my own ticket home, but I procrastinated. So Justin's back in Portland right now, hanging out at home, when we were supposed to be heading to a B&B in Seaside. Our parents are friends, and they said it was okay as long as we were back by Christmas Day. Anyway, instead of getting mad at me, which is what I would have done, all Justin wants to talk about is my frozen pipes. He actually feels bad for me. Can you believe it? That's some serious patience. Wow, I said, playing along. He sounds patient. Okay, now you. I sat there for an uncomfortable amount of time, trying to think of something interesting to say. I couldn't talk about a distant girlfriend the way I wanted to, which would definitely make Haley feel more comfortable about the shower situation. It doesn't have to be some big, profound thing, she told me. It can be simple. Got it, I said, still brainstorming. Then it came to me. My little sister, who's probably my best friend in the world, turned 17 on Christmas Day. This is the first birthday of hers I'll ever have missed. Soph wasn't technically my best friend, and she didn't technically turn 17 until the week after Christmas, but the point was to show Haley that I was a solid brother, which would hopefully increase her trust in me. Oh, that's sad. Why didn't you go home? No money. Because I promised Mike I'd cat sit. Haley frowned. I'm sure he'd have understood. It's Christmas and your sister's birthday. I have a lot of homework and stuff too, I lied. I figured you were a student, Haley said. What school? NYU. She nodded. Isn't your semester over? I pulled my beanie tighter over my forehead and shifted positions on the couch. Actually, it's for next semester. I pointed at the novel I'd been reading. This one lit class I'm taking has a grip of reading. I'm trying to, get ahead, you know. It was true, in that class, I'd have signed up for a large reading list. It was true that a class I'd signed up for had a large reading list, but the book on the couch had nothing to do with school. And I was a fast reader. What year are you? Haley asked. Freshman. You? I'm a sophomore at Columbia. Nice, a college veteran, I said. Haley forced a laugh. Please, I have no idea what I'm even going to major in. I glanced at my book again. There was another awkward silence at that point, and after a few seconds, Haley stood up and said, See? I stood up too. See what? Now we know a little bit about each other, which means it's less weird for me to take a shower at your place. Well, technically, I pointed out, it's not my place. It's yours through the holidays, right? I guess so. I watched Haley disappear into the hall, and a few seconds later, I heard the bathroom door and the master bedroom close. I looked around the apartment, trying to imagine it as my place. The designer couch, the expensive-looking leather chair, the massive flat screen mounted on the wall, the fancy-looking paintings. What would my old man say if he saw me standing here right now? He'd think I was cat-sitting in a museum. I read the entire time Haley was in Mike's bathroom, which was a shockingly long time. When she finally walked back into the living room, her hair was wet and I could tell she was wearing fresh makeup. She looked beautiful. I sat down my book and got up saying, "Everything go okay in there?" It was quite lovely, thanks. She waited for me to open the front door. When I did, she looked me dead in the eye and said, "Thank you, Shai." I got a weird, unbalanced feeling hearing her say my name. And I told her, "My shower's your shower, Haley." But that sounded kind of sexual, so I quickly added, "I mean, you can bathe in my place anytime," but that was creepy too. "I mean, I know what you mean," she said, saving me from myself. "I appreciate it." She gave me a nice smile and left Mike's apartment. When I closed the door, I found Olive looking up at me, accusatorily. "What?" I asked. She meowed. "Look," I told her, "you're going to have to start speaking English around here." She stuck out her front paws, stretched her multicolored back, and crept away. Angels in the snow. Haley was back early the next morning with her bathroom bag, a change of clothes, and a fresh towel. "I don't mean to keep interrupting whatever it is you do down here," she said, "but I kind of had an accident in the kitchen." She held out the front of her gray Columbia sweatshirt. There was a large ketchup stain between the M and the B. For her to come inside. "You can just leave your stuff in there if you want." She forced a laugh. "Yeah, I don't think so. That would be taking it way too far. Besides, how do I know you're not the kind of person who snoops through people's belongings, people's things? I don't even shower in there. I use the one in the spare bedroom." "That's what they all say." She looked down at the ketchup stain again. "I know technically this is more of a laundry issue, but I feel dirty. Like I said, you can shower down here whenever you want." She set her stuff on the dining room table and reached down and pet the cat. "You're a friendly one, aren't you, girl?" "Oh, yes, you are." "Her name's Olive," I said. Haley looked up at me. "We're on a first name basis now." "I see." I shrugged. For some reason, I wasn't feeling like my usual laid-back self. I think the hunger was making me irritable, but at the same time, I was happy to be talking to Haley again. Being hungry is bad news. Being hungry and alone? That's when people start Googling info about suicide hotlines. She stood up and put her hands on her hips like she was waiting for something. That unbalanced feeling I got whenever we made eye contact was no longer confined to my stomach. It had moved up into my chest. "What?" I said. "You go first this time," she said. "We're doing that get to know you thing again?" "Yep," Haley said. "Every time I come down here, we have to share one new thing. Those are the rules. And ideally, it should be something highly personal. The last thing you shared was kind of boring, no offense to your sister." She glanced over my shoulder into Mike and Janice's kitchen. "What are you doing for meals? It never smells like you've cooked anything. And I usually hear the takeout guys when they're coming up the steps." "Oh, Mike left a stocked fridge for me," I lied. "The cupboards are all full too. They made this big grocery store run to the new Whole Foods before they left and said I should eat as much as I can." "Nice," Haley said. "But I'm guessing you don't actually cook." I shook my head. "I mostly make sandwiches and cereal, easy stuff like that." My stomach cramped so aggressively at the thought of these mythical meals that I winced in pain. "You're welcome to eat with me. It's just as easy to cook for two as it is for one." For reasons I didn't fully understand, Haley's offer made me want to cry. I broke eye contact and kneeled down to pet Olive. I was so hungry now, I constantly felt lightheaded. My arms and legs felt like styrofoam. I finished off the hot dog bun and the baby carrots and the yogurts the night before. When I awoke in the morning, I had half the chocolate bar. I still felt hungry though, and drank glass after glass of tap water thinking it would fill me up. It didn't work. Well, Haley said, do you want to come up and have dinner tonight? I was thinking of making vegetable lasagna, my mom's special holiday recipe. My mouth started watering. Real food. I can't, I told her. What do you mean you can't? I didn't know how to answer this truthfully. Maybe it was stupid pride, the one thing I had picked up from the rest of the Espinosa men. Or maybe it was fear of being found out. I constantly felt like an imposter among the other students at NYU. When were they going to figure out that I didn't belong here? That some lady in admissions had made a mistake, had offered a scholarship to the wrong guy. I probably spent as much time trying to hide my ghetto as I did on homework. I'm supposed to talk to my family back home, I said. Then come up after. No, like my whole family, I told her. Since I won't be there on Christmas, but I totally appreciate the offer. Sorry, I lost my place. She just stared at me for a few long seconds. You're weird. I guess she had that part right. Anyway, Haley grabbed herself off the table. You go first this time. I still felt oddly emotional, which wasn't like me. In fact, I hadn't cried for over a year, since my mom's funeral. Maybe that's what I could tell her, I thought. How when I saw my mom lying in the casket, my dumbass broke down in front of everyone. How I started shouting about the whole world being a fucked up piece of shit place that I was done with, too. How a few relatives tried to get me to calm down. But all I did was turn my wrath on them. Who you talking to? I shouted in my Uncle Guillermo's face. You don't know shit about me. When he reached for my arm, I smacked his hand away. I could tell Haley about that. How tears were streaming down my face, even though my expression never changed. Not even a little. And I kept shouting, I don't give a fuck about anything. You hear me? Sorry, has anyone not heard that word before?
No, I say
Yeah.
Oh, good, Hosanna. I just didn't want to rattle any parade. Can we agree that this would sound like this character in that situation?
Teachers
Yeah.
barely say that.
Well, I don't say it, I'm reading.
I can agree with that.
I didn't stop crying until my dad came over and slapped me across the face, right there in front of everyone, at the foot of my mom's casket. Slapped me like I was some punk-ass 5-year-old. And as I walked out of the funeral home that day, I made myself a promise. I would never cry again. For as long as I lived. No matter what happened or who got sick and died. Hello, Haley waved her hands in front of my face. Earth to shy. I took a deep breath and let it out slow. Instead of telling her about my dead mom, I told her about the first time I saw snow. 2 years ago, our family drove to the mountains outside of San Diego and stayed at a campsite. In a family-sized tent my uncle loaned us. My parents promised me and my little sis we'd see snow. But the first 3 days, there was nothing. It was just cold and windy. We spent the majority of our time inside the tent playing stupid games like Uno and Loteria and Mexican dominoes. But when we woke up on the morning of the 4th day, it happened. Thick, beautiful snowflakes were falling from the sky. And it had accumulated on the ground all around us. I told Haley how while my dad and sis took turns going down this little hill near our campsite on the cheap plastic sled, me and my mom lay on our backs and did snow angels just outside our tent. Like a couple of giggling kindergartners. And when we got up to check them out, it looked like our angels were holding hands. Haley smiled. You're getting better at this. I shrugged, still picturing the life I used to have. Isn't it funny how one day you'll be hoping for something like snow and the next day you'll be hoping it goes away? Haley motioned towards Mike's big windows where the snow was still coming down. We watched it for a while. And then Haley told me about the time she first became aware of race. She didn't know why, but last night the memory came to her out of nowhere. Maybe because of something she was watching on TV. Anyway, she was a little girl living in a wealthy suburb outside of Portland, and for her 6th birthday, her parents took her to the city to see a musical. They made a big thing of it, got dressed up and everything, hopped in her dad's Mercedes and made the drive. Haley said she remembered driving by this one McDonald's in a sketchy part of the city, where she saw a group of black women dressed strangely, wearing tons of makeup. They were prostitutes. But she was too young to understand that. Haley was in the back seat in her fancy white dress, staring at these women because she'd never seen anything like it. Her dad stopped at a light right in front of them. And while he waited for it to change, Haley stared and stared until one of the women turned and met eyes with her. But Haley still couldn't look away. She was transfixed. After a few seconds, the woman wobbled right up to Haley's window in her sparkly high heels and pointed a finger at Haley's face. What you staring at, white girl? You trying to steal my story? I don't know why I just told you that, Haley said. I don't think I've shared that with anyone before, not even my closest girlfriends. We both stood there awkwardly for a few seconds. It was like we'd ripped open our chests and revealed our beating hearts. And how do you transition back from small talk after that? Finally, Haley cleared her throat and said she was going to clean up. She seemed embarrassed. I went over to the couch and tried to read my book, but all I could think about was Haley's story. Did she tell me that because I was part Mexican? Maybe she thought I was from a bad neighborhood, or maybe it had nothing to do with me. Maybe we were just two people alone in a building during a blizzard. As soon as the skies cleared, maybe this strange little dream we seemed to be sharing would slip away from us forever. I read the same paragraph about 60 straight times, but I still had no idea what I was reading. And then Haley walked back into the living room, her hair wet, makeup freshly applied. She looked more beautiful than ever. God, I love being clean, she said. Me too. I pulled my weak body off the couch. When you get in there today, she said, maybe try and do something with that hair. I pulled off my beanie. You mean this? She took a few steps toward me and rustled my hair a little, which caught me off guard. At least you won't have to worry about going bald, she said. I pulled my beanie back on. Anyway, if you change your mind about dinner, just come up. Doesn't matter what time. Cool. I opened the door for her. Haley did the eye contact thing, which led to the unbalanced thing, because I don't see how a call home can take all night, but whatever. She gave a little wave and left. It wasn't until a few hours later that I discovered Haley had left her towel and bathroom bag in Mike's master bathroom. Well, this is good enough stopping point. We'll finish this up tomorrow.
I love this story. Is this the short story?
It's a longer short story.
So it's not a real book?
No, there's not a book. This is all he wrote of this story.
No.
Well, some stories are just stories. Good, I'm glad.
I'm gonna read it more than one.
Bye, guys. Have a fantastic early out.
I still
Keep it like that.